I think we have been reluctant to challenge some of the notions that I think, in fact, the regime has been peddling to the Western public opinion. One has been, you know, there's a reform and hardliner in Iran, and the best choice is to help enable the reform movement. Well, the reform movement ended for Iranians in 2009, but still, there are Western intellectuals that are still diehard, followers of the reform hope and idea. Um, Another notion is that if you lift the sanctions, Iranians won't be on the streets. If the U.S. hadn't pulled out of the JCPOA, um, the protesters wouldn't be on the streets. That so much of what we're seeing, as if, is simply an expression of the economic difficulties of the U.S. meddling or unmeddling in the issue of Iran. And I think these are all opinions that somehow have been filtered through to us, partially by, I think, misguided academics, but partially also by the regime itself, to convince us that either we should stay out because they're impossible to understand or comprehend because they're a different tradition, a different culture, a different religion, or that the politics are too complicated and the best thing we can do, or the regime was too ubiquitous, and the best thing we could do was to help, a faction from within the regime, which was the reformists, win. And I think that was just a very good game of good cop, bad cop that the regime played on us for over 20 years. So I think the best thing we, as especially intelligentsia in America, can do is to begin to see how we have thought about Iran in all the wrong ways, and how we need to understand that if we are going to protect democracy in America, strengthen democracy in America, we need to care about democracy elsewhere in the world. Because any place where democracy loses, democracy everywhere weakens for everyone else.